My name is Jason Pina. I serve as the Vice President of Student Affairs here at Ohio University. And the way I would describe my job is really in two fashions. One is I work with my colleagues in the Division of Student Affairs to try to maximize our use of resources for the benefit of our students. The other part of my job, which is probably more than half, is supporting President Davis and my other colleagues on the President's Council on moving the university forward and supporting the mission and vision as well as the plans set forth by the Board of Trustees. So I know that's a general answer to your question. That's what I do. Luck. When I was in college, I actually was studying to be an investment banker. And my senior year, I was preparing to get married to my high school sweetheart. And she learned of the hours it took to be an investment banker. She told me that maybe that wasn't the route that we should take as newlyweds. So I wasn't good enough to make money playing sports. I wasn't going to pursue banking because I wanted to stay married. So my other option was getting into student affairs because at the time I was the hall director as a senior in college. So I started pursuing that, went to graduate school in educational leadership and higher ed administration, and started really dabbling in a lot of different functional areas within student affairs to figure out what was a good match between my skills and passions and the needs of students. So that's what generally led me to the role I have today. I think the most important decision is hiring. You know, finding, hiring good people and letting them do their job. There's very few jobs in Division of Student Affairs that I actually could do. And remind myself of that every day, that I can't do the work of event services. I can't run a light bulb, I can't do sound, but those are really important parts of how we create a positive student experience. So making sure that I have folks that work at the university that are able to support our students and able to support the university itself is really my primary job. The other piece is trying to ask questions that are not at the table. What I mean by that is that I have a lot of meetings all day, most of the night, and I always try to think about, there's probably someone who can't be in this room right now. Sometimes it's students, sometimes it's my boss. But what kind of questions do I need to ask to get those answers from my colleagues so we can have the best solutions to issues that we're trying to tackle as a group? Well, I would answer that in a few ways. You know, number one, my concern is safety and personal decision making. I've only been on campus 4 months, and the volume and type of partying or what I read in police reports or what I hear from students that are going on the weekend isn't really actually much different than the other 6 universities I've worked at. Now, not all the universities are located in southeastern Ohio. Not all the universities I worked at have over 40,000 students. But essentially, how people describe to me what they do in house parties or what occurs on Court Street or what may be happening in residence halls isn't much different than what I've been used to the last 20, 25 years of my life. I think that being in a part of the state where there's a lot of eyes on our institution, where we happen to have one of the world's best journalism schools and lots of outlets around media, that there's a lot of scrutiny and questioning when things get reported and when people are arrested. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because I also really feel like there's students and folks that probably make decisions on not wanting to be arrested, not wanting to be in the paper, and not wanting to be ridiculed by peers or other folks. So I think a lot of the attention we get is because of the culture we have, and not necessarily that the degree of partying is so astronomically higher than other places that I personally have worked at. I mean, I've worked at places coast to coast and in Colorado. Biggest struggle? That's a great question. I've had a lot. I would say, currently for me is I make a lot of decisions at work and at home that impact people, not today, but years to come. And a lot of times I have to make decisions that I'll never truly see the impact of. So there's times where I take this leap of faith, right? Decisions I make that may impact students 20 years from now, I have to make today. And I may not get credit or blame for those, but those decisions are almost as important as decisions I make that impact folks on this campus this weekend. So that's certainly something I struggle with a lot, because I'm just one person. So I'm completely committed to trying to find more folks that are going to challenge me and push me, have counter arguments to maybe something I believe, just to make sure that if I had to make a final decision, this is maybe the best decision I can make at the time for the future. Oh, that's a great question. So, for me, being a Bobcat is a commitment. When I meet alums or students or people that sit there and they put forward that they're a Bobcat, it's a lifelong commitment. The first time I went on a vacation when I moved here was to go camping with my family. So we set up our site, and I happened to have an Ohio t-shirt on, and you could count to 10, and there were 2 families at our campsite telling me that they were Bobcats. And the way they say it, gives me goosebumps. Because there's so much there to unpack. There's so much there that it's either what happened to them from an educational standpoint or a social standpoint, the pride they have of how the school's grown and changed since they were students here. I've never experienced that anywhere I've ever been. Coming here for Black Alumni Reunion, which only happens every 3 years, or Homecoming, which just completed, and just sitting and listening to the stories. And it's not really the content, it's the way they deliver it. Yeah, so I think for me, I look at the issue between hate and hateful speech. It's clearly defined in our country today what hate speech actually is and what it's not. So, I think one piece is that I struggle with and really want to engage students with. When you talk about hate speech, that's a legal piece. Hateful speech can hurt, and it can make people feel a certain way. And that's something we have to contend with a lot deeper. And the way I really describe it is, if someone wrote the N-word on the side of the hall, which is where I work, I would definitely take that as hateful speech. I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want my 11-year-old son to see it when he comes to visit me. I want it off the wall immediately. It has an impact on me when that word's used like that on the wall. If people aren't putting it on the wall because I work in this building and they're just saying, "What's up?" That's not hate speech. But if the same person wrote on the wall that, "Jason Pina, you are the N-word, and I'm going to find you, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to you," that's something I would report to the police, and that is hate speech. And I hope that that person is caught before they're able to execute and threaten me with that X, Y, and Z situation. So I think one is just understanding the difference between those 2 pieces. The second piece of it is that we can't always just respond to what we perceive as hateful speech with wanting to squash it. Because people have lost their lives. They've spent days and years in jail. They had their rights given to them and taken back in this country, fighting for our ability to say what we feel and say what we want to say in this community. And I also, so I think that when I say certain things in this community, there's people that don't like Black folks that take it as super negative. And it can be, in my mind, pretty innocuous. And I need to give them space. But when I talk about diversity and inclusion, I actually need to be inclusive. I can't just be inclusive to protect the people that believe the way I believe and say, if you don't believe this, you can't be at my table, you can't be part of this discussion. Because I believe that's one of the reasons why we have such a bifurcated community in some respects, and you see it playing out politically, is that we won't invite each other to the table and have discussions. There's a Covey, an author who's passed away, he talks about seek first to understand before being understood. And some of the things I'm most proud of as a professional is those times and moments that I sought to understand the viewpoint of a student that was marked as racist or misogynist, and say, as an educator, I need to understand where they're coming from and see, is there a way I can unwind that a bit, give a different perspective, or at the very least, let them know that I'm actually a real person here, and that behavior really works. It's a number of them. When I was 19 and I was hired by the RA, as an RA, my Jamie Patton, assistant dean of students here, so the assistant dean of students where I went to school, he told me that with relationship comes grace. And if you have a relationship with your colleagues, with your residents, when you mess up, they'll be willing to forgive you. If you're distant, if you act like you're high and mighty and you mess up, then you're not necessarily going to get the grace that you need to be human. So I've never forgotten that. It's easy for many of us, especially when you're in college or you grew up in high schools and communities where everyone went to college, to take it for granted. When you look at the 4,000 plus colleges in this country and you aggregate all the graduation rates, just over 50% of the students that go to college graduate. So it's not automatic that people are going to graduate from college. But sometimes there's moments where they may choose to engage in behavior because being a college student and graduating from college in their mind is automatic. And this is a time in their lives that they should be building the strongest foundation for the next 6, 7+ decades of their life. And only they can do that. People aren't going to push them. They may prod them a bit. But when it's a decision between taking that hard class or taking the one that's easy A, take the hard class. When it's the opportunity to study abroad or just stay here, study abroad. When you have the opportunity to do something, research with a faculty member during spring break, or go to Florida or some other place, do the research. What your dream of your life and your lifestyle should be, you can dream that all you want. But my hope is that social or co-curricular lifestyle that you may be engaging in now is not the way you want to engage in the rest of your life. But your education, clarifying your career goals, getting your foot in the door in the graduate schools you want to get into is going to allow you to create a type of foundation that will allow you to have the dreams for you and your family for decades to come. So have the long view of your lives and not the view of just this weekend and just this semester. For me, the community at Ohio University is really special. I would say that, let me tell a story. When I was a front office for this job, I received an email, 2 emails from alums. And they said to me in that email, good luck in the interview. I hope my school picks the best person. If it's you, don't screw up. And I had the opportunity to tell that story to a group of alumni a few weeks ago. And one of the people that sent me an email was in the audience. And to me, that's the essence of this place. They want the very best for this place. And these are friends. And they're like, don't screw up my place. When I come back to the bricks, I want it to be the OU I remember. What I love telling students and other people that aren't from around here is during the week I feel like I serve students. And on the weekend when I'm running my errands and doing my thing in town, students are serving me. And I think that's the best part of our community. When you sit down and ask people who work here, who are lifelong folks in Southeastern Ohio, what this place means to them, and people shut up and just listen, you hear about getting a job here changing their lives, changing their families' lives. Children coming to school here as children of employees who never imagined the opportunity to go to college. And we have hundreds of those stories at this university. That's something I haven't experienced. I'm used to students telling me where they come from, Cleveland or Columbus or a farm where no one within hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres even thought about going to college, and how coming here has changed their lives. I get that, and those are powerful stories. But when you have someone that's lived their whole life and they're 50, 60 years old, and they live 5 miles from here, and they know this place exists, and they can articulate how this has become where they've gotten their education, their social scene, their outlets for creativity, and health insurance, and education for their kids. And you just see their faces. Almost every single time when I hear a story, I cry. Because I have a small part to play here. And that's why this place is so special.